Recently, I got my wiper motor burnt in the car. Initially, I thought that was due to battery issue, but later I found that the wiper assembly completely was stuck. For the motor part, I have replaced the armature and now the motor is working. Now I'm going to replace the assembly of the wiper. It's called as the link rod. You can find it inside this part, this section of the car, and this is the old one. It's completely stuck. You see, I won't be able to rotate the head of the wiper assembly. So this is gone. I have bought a new assembly, this one. This is a Maruti genuine part which I bought from Southern Motorcycles in Chennai. It's located in Parapai, an area close to Outer Chennai. So if you want to buy genuine parts, you can approach them. Now I'm going to fix it. So before fixing, I'll tell you how these things came apart. First, you have to remove the wiper arms. There is a cap and a bolt which comes here. Once you remove it, you can pull these arms out. Maybe a little tough, but you can still do it. Once you remove the wiper arms, you have to remove the shield here. You can pull it off. Actually, these are having small plastic clips, so it's safe to pull it out. But if it's very old car, just keep in mind that there's a chance that this plastic can break. So now what I'm going to do is put the new part inside and screw the bolts, new set of bolts. I've just applied some grease to these to the ends of the joints, and this part I've retained from the old assembly. Now you can see I've fixed it on both the sides, and the rod is ready to be fixed to the motor. So if I push this, you can see here the head turning on both the sides. So it's very easy to push by hand now, which was not the case earlier. Next step, I'm going to fit the motor. So now the motor is fixed to the rod, and I've bolted the motor to the body. So for the motor to work, what I have noticed is that it has to be touching the body, only then the motor will work. Just by connecting this connector, the motor will not work. So make note of this. And one more thing is, I've applied grease to the bolts here, nuts and bolts here. This is because it may slow down the rusting process, and the earlier nut I had to cut it out. You can see the marks of the angle grinder. So that's it. I think now it's ready for me to switch on and test it out. One of the very important points you should note is, when you connect these two spindles, make sure the link rod is straight, meaning that the spindle should rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So if you find that after fixing link rods, if it moves in the opposite direction, that's one to the clockwise and the other to the anti-clockwise, that means the position of the link rod is in the wrong direction. So I had that problem, so I had to remove the casing, the nuts, everything, and again had to fix the link rod in the proper direction. And another thing to note is, if both the directions are in the opposite rotation, then you have to check the position where you have attached the shaft on the motor. Point to note here is, both your shaft should rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. If one or the other rotates in a clockwise direction, then you have to change the position of the shaft. You can do that by rotating this in the opposite direction. The best position is to keep it in a horizontal position and make sure it doesn't connect diagonally. And if both the shafts rotate in the wrong direction, that means you have to check the position where you've connected the motor, the spindle of the motor. I hope you can see now. So if you make those little changes, the shaft should work in the proper direction. So I fixed the arms for the wiper, and before you tighten and put the caps on, you can test for one last time if it's working in the right direction. So starting with the lower speed, yes, it's going in the anti-clockwise direction. So I'm gonna switch off and tighten the screws. I put the caps back on. So speed 1, speed 2, speed 3. Now it's working as expected. So always test this before finally tightening the screws. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up if you liked it. Bye.